The Assassin.
You know I break necks, call me Jack Tate. I have no regrets while your life is fading. I'm a crazy fuck equivalent to Satan. When I'm behind the mic, I feel like the greatest. You know I break necks, call me Jack Tate. I have no regrets while your life is fading. I'm a crazy fuck equivalent to Satan. When I'm behind the mic, I feel like the greatest.
What up, y'all? You're listening to Sports Talk with Tropp, and I'm your host, Katie Tropp. Well, before we get into things, I just released a new lyric video for my single, Suck My Dick. You could check that out on my official YouTube at youtube.com/Katie Tropp, or you could check it out on my official website, katietropp.net. Yes, I did not stutter. It is called Suck My Dick because you shouldn't be surprised by that if you know me. But anyways, let's get right into the Top 10 MLB Power Rankings for this week. We have a number one. It's a new number one, but not really a new number one. It's a different number one. They've been number one for the majority of the season, and they have reclaimed the top spot because the old number one's kind of taking a tumble this week, but I don't think there's any time to panic just yet. But number one this week is the Detroit Tigers. They are back at the number one spot. Overall record of 78-54, 8-2 in their last 10 games. This past week they took the series over the Houston Astros and then also took the series over the Kansas City Royals. And it's just this team's back in order. You know, their starting pitching's back in order, their bullpen's back in order, their defense is back in order, offense back in order. They just are an all-around excellent team. And when you really look at the American League, this is easily the best team. It's pretty much in the American League, it's the Detroit Tigers headed to the World Series unless somebody is able to take them out, because this is easy for them. They are easily the best team unless something crazy happens. Now, of course, once the playoffs start, things can change, of course, and then of course injuries and stuff like that can change the way things happen. But you look at the Tigers, and they've been the most consistent team. They've been able to overcome everything that's been thrown at them so far this season. And and like I said, the American League is extremely weak compared to the National League. The National League is going to beat up on each other come playoff time, but the American League is pretty much Detroit or bust. And, Skubal, he has been having a Cy Young award-winning type season again. 11 wins on the season, a 2.32 ERA, and 200 strikeouts on the season. So look out for the Detroit Tigers to more than likely make it to the World Series in the American League. Then at number two, just falling one spot this week, the Milwaukee Brewers. Overall record of 81-50. So they are the first team to eclipse the 80-win mark on the season. 4-6 though in their last 10 games, which is why I dropped them back. They split the series with the Chicago Cubs this week and then lost the series to the San Francisco Giants. So it's just, they really fell back. And like I said, the Detroit Tigers are much more consistent. And, really, if they were to go head-to-head today, I would easily take Detroit over the Milwaukee Brewers any day. But with that being said, the Brewers are still playing good baseball, still one of the top teams. And, like I just said, the first team to eclipse the 80-win mark. So that's nothing to scoff at. And Freddie Peralta is having an amazing season with 15 wins, a 2.68 ERA, and 160 strikeouts on the season. So this guy is pitching out of his mind. It's really nice to actually see him getting the win and the run support because that's just always been an issue. He's always been really solid in his outings. It's just that he's never been able to get the run support, and now he's finally getting that. So now he's finally starting to get the wins along with the excellent ERA and all the strikeouts. And then, of course, Christian Yelich, he's having an amazing year himself. 26 home runs, 88 RBI, and this Milwaukee Brewers team is just, shining so far, and they are easily dominating their division right now. Then at number three on my Top 10 MLB Power Rankings are the Philadelphia Phillies. Overall record of 76-54. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Seattle Mariners and then also took the series over the Washington Nationals. And they're getting hot at the right time. Even though, they lost Zach Wheeler for the rest of the season with the blood clot injury. That doesn't seem to have slowed them down at all. They're keeping it moving. I think Bryce Harper is a big reason why. I mean, he's had a great month or two of baseball. Right now, he's got 21 home runs and 60 RBI on the season. And then Kyle Schwarber is having another monster year, 45 home runs, 109 RBI, and just cannot be stopped. Dude comes up to bat, and it's always going out of the park, it kind of feels like. And even so, with the injuries, it doesn't matter. Trey Turner's having a solid year. They're really putting it together on the defensive side of the ball as well. And like I said, even though Wheeler's injured, the rest of the starting pitchers are starting to really step it up. And this Philadelphia Phillies team is getting hot at the perfect time of the year. Then at number 4 in my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Chicago Cubs. Overall record of 76-55. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. This past week, they split the series with the Milwaukee Brewers and took the series over the Los Angeles Angels. And Kyle Tucker, even though he was benched for a couple games, he has come back strong. He come back and hit a couple of home runs ever since he came back. And it just kind of feels like sitting him down for those couple of games really just reset him and really took him back. And I mean, like I said, the Chicago Cubs team has been the best team offensively, hands down, from the beginning of the year. They had a little bit of a downtime there, but now they are back at it and had a solid week. And they really got to keep it moving. I mean, I feel like they're obviously going to be one of the wild card teams. But this Milwaukee Brewers team, if they're able to start slumping a little bit, the Cubs keeping it moving could help them potentially take over that division. Then at number 5 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Overall record of 74-57. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they split the series with the Colorado Rockies and lost the series to the San Diego Padres. So they were getting taken to the mat by their division opponents this week. And the Padres are now tied for the division with the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens here this next month of baseball, but they almost got swept by the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies really took it to them in that series, even though they split it. But even so, Freddie Freeman has been on fire, especially this last month, 2 months of baseball. Right now, he's batting a .302 with 18 home runs and 75 RBI. But the most consistent dude on this team, of course, especially at the starting pitching position, has been Yamamoto. He's got 11 wins on the season, a 2.90 ERA, and 157 strikeouts. And really just, it feels like every time he comes out to pitch, they are coming out and getting a win in that game. Then at number 6 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Toronto Blue Jays, overall record of 76-55. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but took the series over the Miami Marlins. And I think a big reason why they've kind of been slumping offensively is because Vlad Guerrero has been out the last week with a hamstring injury, but they do get him back this week, so I kind of feel like that's going to inject a little bit of life into their offense. But even so, they are still top dog in their division in the American League East. Then at number 7 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings, the San Diego Padres. Overall record of 74-57. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the San Francisco Giants and took the series over the Los Angeles Dodgers. And they're just putting it together at the right time. And if they just keep it moving, they are going to take this division. And Dylan Cease, he's actually had a solid year. It just feels like every time he comes out to pitch, that's just when, the defense fucks up, or he just is not able to get the run support from the offensive side of the ball. So it just kind of is one of those bad seasons for Cease where it's like he's having a good year, but the rest of the team does not back him up. But the last couple of games he's been pitching, the team has been backing him up. So we'll see what happens with the last month of the season here, if that's able to kind of propel them to take over this division. But even so, they should be a force to be reckoned with once they hit the playoffs, because they should definitely be at least a wild card team. But they should be looking at this division, because right now the Dodgers are not looking as hot as they once were to start the season, and these injuries are starting to pile up, and the Padres are starting to get dudes back. And if they keep it moving, they could take this division. Then at number 8 on my top 10 MLB Power Rankings of the Houston Astros, overall record of 72-59. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Detroit Tigers, but then bounced right back against the Baltimore Orioles. Christian Walker has been having a really solid season with this team. He's got 19 home runs on the season and 72 RBI, so he's been probably the most consistent offensive force for them. And then, of course, Framber Valdez, he has been right out the gate, been their ace for the majority of the year. 11 wins on the season, a .332 ERA, and 153 strikeouts. And it's lurking Jordan is lurking. He's getting closer and closer to coming back. So we'll see if he injects a little bit of life into this offense and gives the Astros a little bit of consistency, something that they've really needed. I mean, that's pretty much been the Astros' issue. I still expect them to win this division because nobody else has really been able to step it up against them. And then getting Jordan back should definitely kind of help them keep the division lead and then also give them a little bit of life once the playoffs roll around. Because like I said, the American League is up for grabs unless you're the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers, this is their league to lose. And if the Astros are able to get it going, that's definitely a team you don't want to be seeing in the postseason because they know what it takes to win in the postseason. Then at number 9 on the Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings are the New York Yankees. Overall record of 70-60. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Tampa Bay Rays, but almost got swept by the Red Sox. And they're actually been getting their asses handed to them by the Red Sox this season, which is really crazy. They've only had 2 wins, and the Red Sox are coming off of, I believe, like an 8-game winning streak off of them. So they really needed the win last night. But other than their defensive problems, the offense is having 0 issues right now. Stanton has been on fire. Jazz Chisholm has been on fire. Dude hit 2 home runs last night. It kind of feels like Jazz has been hitting 2 home runs a game. Him and Stanton, feels like every time these two dudes are coming up to hit, they are hitting 2 home runs every game. And then Cody Bellinger, another one who's been on fire. So it's not just about Aaron Judge in this offense. Those 3 cats have really come up to bat and really been making it difficult to work around Aaron Judge. So we'll see what happens. Judge hasn't come back yet on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're more trying to save him for the end of the season, which I think is a much better idea, especially with all this offensive firepower that's just been coming out of nowhere from these guys. But, Stanton's been hitting it out of the park in Jazz. They've just been really looking good on the offensive side of the ball, which is what they really need. Starting pitching has been solid as well. It's just been the defense has been just so atrocious, and it feels like the majority of the games, it feels like there is a huge error where you're looking at them like, how did that happen? And it just keeps happening and happening. But the American League, still wide ass open for any team right now. And then rounding out the Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings, a team that we have not discussed a lot this season, but here they are on a pretty solid winning streak. That is the Kansas City Royals. Overall record of 67-64, 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series over the Texas Rangers, but lost the series to the Detroit Tigers. But Vinny Pasquantino, this guy has been lights out this season, batting a .264, 28 home runs, and 92 RBI. Kind of feels like every time he comes up to bat, he is knocking it out of the park and getting on base. Also, another guy having a solid year, Bobby Witt Jr., batting a .297, 19 home run, and 72 RBI. This Kansas City Royals team getting hot at the right time. They are that type of team that tends to do this. I don't expect them to come anywhere near the Detroit Tigers for the American League Central crown, but definitely I look at the Royals as a team that's going to make it difficult for the wild card teams. They might be biting somebody's ass at the end here, but in the end, I kind of feel like the Royals don't have a lot of firepower, but they might end up with that last wild card spot, or making it a little bit difficult for other teams in the end. But they definitely are not going to make it difficult for the Detroit Tigers. But hey, they are on a nice little bit of a streak here, and Pasquantino especially. This guy, he comes up to bat, and he seems to be getting on base every time he comes up to bat. All right, moving on to my NFL season predictions. We are going to do the NFC and AFC West teams on today's episode. Not a lot to talk about with a lot of these teams. There's a couple of good teams, and then everybody else is kind of like in the questionable department. So let's begin with the NFC West. And this was really difficult for me to decide who I thought was going to win this one, because I feel like all of these teams have a lot of questions. So I just went with the most reliable team. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams to win this division. I've got them going 11-6. And this all relies on Matthew Stafford, though. Now, he's starting the season off injured. It looks like he's going to play week 1. But is this going to be a lingering injury? Because this is a back injury. And the dude, he airs it out, and he's going to need his back. So we'll see what happens here. But they did add in Davante Adams in the offseason. And Davante Adams is one of the best short yardage receivers. He's definitely going to help them out. in a lot of areas, but they still have Puka Nacua as well, Kyron Williams. So I like a lot of the offensive firepower. They do have a young, talented defense as well. So it all relies on what happens with Matthew Stafford and his injury. Is this going to be a big deal for them, or is he going to be able to get through it? If he's able to get through it, I feel like the NFC West is easily the Rams' division to win, because the rest of these teams, it just kind of feels like there's a crapshoot, and this is really the only talented roster out of all four teams in the NFC West. Finishing in second place in the NFC West, I have the Arizona Cardinals. I have them coming in with a 9-8 record. They're just not really much on this team. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's about the only talent they have on the offensive side of the ball, so I kind of expect him to do a lot of things on the offensive side of the ball, but outside of him, I don't really expect much to happen from this team. They have a terrible defense, and like I said, outside of Marvin Harrison, there is no offensive firepower at all, so I don't expect much from the Arizona Cardinals this year. Then coming in third place in the NFC West, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I have them coming in at 7-10. I just think they lost a lot in this offseason. I mean, they traded away Deebo Samuel, and yes, he's been injury prone his entire career, but you know what? He's a huge driving force in this offense. Christian McCaffrey, is he going to be able to stay healthy this year? Who the hell knows? Brandon Ayuk, he's starting the season off on the physically unable to perform list. So this wide receiving core is very, very weak. So there's not a lot going on offensively. And then defensively, you turn and look at the defense and you're like, what's going on here besides Frank Warner and Bosa? I mean, there's just way too many questions for me, especially on the offensive side of the ball for the Niners. I just think they're going to have way too many questions at the wide receiver position, and I just think it's going to be a very, very long season for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think they're really expecting it, but they lost. I know they lost a huge weapon with Deebo. Like I said, the injuries are a big deal, but, you know, he's going to score you some points. He's going to get you somewhere on offense, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of cheering this season in San Francisco. And then rounding out the NFC West in fourth place, I have the Seattle Seahawks coming in at 5-12. They did pick up Sam Darnold in the offseason, but I don't think that's a big deal. Sam Darnold literally has only had one good season his entire career, and that was last year with the Minnesota Vikings. I think that's going to be it for him. I don't think he's going to translate well. They have nothing on offense other than Kenny Walker III at the running back position. They traded away DK Metcalf, who was their most talented wide receiver. Not sure about this defense as well, so there's just way too many questions for the Seattle Seahawks team for me, and so I have them finishing in last place in their division. Moving on to the AFC West, I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning this division. I have them coming in at 10-7, and it really, with the Chiefs, to me, I don't think they really did a lot this offseason. It's just they're the Chiefs, and until you dethrone the Chiefs, I cannot pick against the Chiefs. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter what this roster is. As long as they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid at the helm, they keep on winning. And until somebody is able to take them down, I cannot pick against them. And like I said, they didn't do a lot in this offseason to make me go, oh my God, they got a lot coming in here. But I mean, they still have Mahomes, and until Mahomes is stopped, you're really not going to beat this Kansas City Chiefs team. And really, the rest of these teams in this division haven't proven shit to me. So I don't think anybody's going to dethrone the Chiefs just yet. Coming in second place in the AFC West, I do have the Los Angeles Chargers. I actually have them tying the Chiefs at 10-7. But like I said, until somebody dethrones the Chiefs, I cannot pick against the Chiefs. And so the Chargers have not done anything in this offseason to really convince me that they're going to dethrone the Chiefs. I do think they've made some improvements. I think they're going to be a better team. But, you know, I look at the running back position. I look at the wide receiver position. I don't think they got Justin Herbert enough weapons to really get going on this team. So I think there's a lot of questions on the offensive side of the ball. Defense should be pretty decent, but, you know, I don't really know about this Chargers team. And until they prove something to me, they're still the same old Chargers. I expect them to have a pretty decent season, but as far as dethroning the Chiefs for the division, they're going to have to go out there and prove it. And until they actually do that, I'm not picking them to win this division. But I would not be shocked if they end up as a playoff team. And I do think they're going to be a better team than they were last year, a bit more consistent team. Coming in at number 3 in the AFC West, I have the Denver Broncos. I have them coming in at 9-8 on the season. There's just too many questions for me with this team. They don't have a lot going on at the wide receiver position. They have nothing going on at the running back position. It's pretty much just Bo Nix tossing up the ball. And, it worked out for them okay last year, but is that going to work out this year? I don't know. They also have a very questionable defense. It's just so many questions on this Denver Broncos team that I really don't know what to make of them. And I just look at them against the Chiefs and the Chargers, and I just kind of go, there's a lot more going on with the Chiefs and the Chargers than there is than with the Denver Broncos at this current point in time. So I can't really pick the Broncos to really make much movement this year other than kind of what they did last year. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Basically a repeat of last year. Just Bo Nix tossing up the ball, them getting some random wins, and really not a lot of consistency. Then rounding out the AFC West, I have the lowly old Las Vegas Raiders. I have them coming in at 3-14. I basically have them as one of the worst teams in the league this year. They have no wide receivers. They have a terrible offensive line. So good luck to you, Geno Smith. I don't think you're going to have any luck with this offense at all. Yes, they did draft Ashton Jeanty. I think he's going to be a very solid very solid running back. But that's pretty much all they got going on the offensive side of the ball. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it's Max Crosby and then a bunch of trash. So I'm expecting the Las Vegas Raiders to be a trash can, garbage-ass team this year. So don't expect much from the Las Vegas Raiders other than the usual garbage. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the week of sports, and I will talk to you fools on Friday.